Autism is simply a different way of being. It's a different way of viewing the world, it's a different way of experiencing the world, but for you as a parent, you're always explaining it.
It is absolutely impossible in one sentence to sum up what autism is. But it is important to remember that what it is to you and what it is to your family may be very different to how it is to somebody else. We all understand autism as we experience it in our own families or in our own selves. We have to understand that it's a broad community and that autism affects people in many different ways.
And really, what autism is, it's a bunch of stuff that a large chunk of the population that have similar characteristics, that you have difficulty socially communicating with people, and you also have extra stuff in the terms of obsessions and rigid behaviours, as well as having a lot of issues with sensory problems. And people will have different parts of that little recipe depending on what batch of autism they have.
So far that journey, I guess, has been one of just realising that Noah needs some extra supports. It's not a problem to be solved, it's just working out how do we actually adjust the dials on our life so that we're kind of eliminating the things that are going to cause extra tension and helping his beautiful brain to be able to live in the best way that it can.
Is a part of my kid's personality, just a part of it. She's much more than autistic kid. She has a unique personality, and among that unique personality there are few parts which would say that she's autistic.
Diagnoses don't exist in nature. Just like you have a stream of water, you can't put markers around that stream and say this is this type of water. The stream flows, and now we talk about the autism spectrum in the recognition of this broad range of different types of autisms. And so every autistic person is very unique, just like every non-autistic person is unique. But it's this constellation of behaviours that might have challenges, and then how do we address those challenges?
Autism is a challenge for other people more than it is for you in a way, because they're always not knowing what's going to happen next, and you have a fair idea of what's going to happen next. So managing other people's expectations of behaviour is at the centre of you as a parent on the autism journey.
Getting to the diagnosis actually was like a point of like validation for us, and was us not just being crazy, not just being terrible parents, realising that actually we are dealing with something that is difficult and requires, you know, a bit of extra like levelling up of our patience and our kind of coping mechanisms.
I can't tell you where your child is going to go, but what we want to do is we want to build your capacity and the capacity of your child to be their best.
You know, from a medical point of view, we talk about this being a disability, that it actually stops you doing stuff that most other people can do. But it also can sometimes be not that disabling, and it can just be something that just makes you different to other people.
The need to be normal, the need to be neurotypical was intense early on, but over time, the desire to find that neurotypical haven, or that, you know, that nirvana that we thought was out there, just faded away. And we found that the community we're in was our home, was our tribe.
Nowadays, I can see the strengths in people with autism spectrum disorder, whereas I didn't know about those right at the beginning. All I could hear about was the things that my son couldn't do. Whereas now I know a lot more about the things that people on the spectrum, or a lot of them, can do. And I also have met so many young men now who are like my son, and they are so lovely. They're such kind, often gentle people, and they are very guileless and innocent. And I much prefer them to most of the other people I meet, really.
It can be both. It can be something that restricts you, but it can also be something that is good and positive and makes you a little bit interesting and quirky. And I think that's empowering to people, especially as they get older with autism, that they start thinking, well, you know, this is me, and I'm okay with that.
You just can't make generalisations about autism. It is just that, it's a spectrum. And how you experience autism in your family will be very different to how I experience in mine or for others. And I think it's important to be really respectful of that when you talk about autism.